Hello my fellow freedom builders, and welcome back to the channel and to yet another video about Tesla. And no, I am not a Tesla basher, but we simply have to address something that doesn't add up. So this is not a video about Tesla, it is more a video about the analysts that say that the stock price of Tesla could go to 2,000 or 3,000. I even saw 10,000 the other day. Now, if you don't have the time to watch the entire video, I can tell you right now that I think it is impossible for the stock to go to these levels. And the reason is that they are all calculated based on robotaxis. Robotaxis being a huge thing with a lot of revenue in just 4 years. That is not realistic, and in this video I'll show you why and how. Alright, so first of all, I'm not a Tesla basher. I actually like the project of making the world a greener place, and I think it's fantastic that Elon Musk have made EVs a sexy thing, a thing that you actually want to drive. So far so good. But we need to address some things here, because this is ARK Invest and their website, and as you might know, Katie Wood, she is one of the largest fans of investing in Tesla, and she's telling all the time why it will go to the moon. Now, in this article here, I will go through it and I'll point towards some problems I think there are in their assumptions. First of all, they are saying that they have different cases. They have a bear case and a bull case and an expected value, which is somewhere in between. So they have an expected value on the Tesla stock at $2,000 at the end of 2027. Now, I should say this is from 2023, so of course things can happen from in the last 8 months here, so that is fair enough. They might have adjusted something, but I just read the other day that they are still talking about $2,000, so I assume that many of the points in this article are still valid. Now, first of all, let's just figure out how they have come to these numbers. And what they're doing is they're using a Monte Carlo simulation. Now, a Monte Carlo simulation is a model, statistical model, where you put a lot of variables in, and then you have it make millions or thousands of simulations, random simulations, and then it gives you different statistical outcomes. So that is why you can see here that we model a 25% probability that Tesla could be worth $1,400 per share or less by 2027. So they do have a 25% probability of that. And they have a 25% probability of this Tesla share being worth more than $2,500. And then, of course, there is a 50% in between. So I would say roughly 75% chance that Tesla should be above 1,400 in 4 years by now. We should also note that in here, when they are describing the model, they could have written something like, this is a statistical model, so there are a lot of uncertainties. So we can actually see down here, it's saying that forecasts are inherently limited and cannot be relied upon as a basis of making an investment decisions, and are built on our modeling that reflect our biases and long-term positive view of the company. So they have taken a statistical model and they are saying our bias is this is going to the moon. We have a very positive view of the future of this company. So they are putting that bias into the model. So if you think they are coming out with these numbers from a completely neutral way of analysis, then you're wrong. They're doing it with something called a Monte Carlo analysis that they are saying themselves could not be used as a mean to invest. And then they are saying we have put our own positive bias into the model. That is an important part when you think that the Tesla stock could go to 2,500. And just to be quick over here in the value graph, by the way, notice please that the price earning of Tesla have dropped to 45. It is not many months since it was 70, where I said the PE is going to drop. People are not going to pay a price earning of 70 or 60 or 50 for something where they can start to see the growth is less good. So let's have a quick look with the 45 in price earning. We put it in here. We put the valuation in here, and let's see, 45 in price earning. and we bump it out a year, so we have to the end of 2027 here, and we can see what it would take for the stock in end of 2027 just to go to 1400 with the numbers that we know right now. And we are, of course, a bit more clever than the ones in the article because they have less data. So about 175% should the earnings per share grow per year in 26 and 27 to reach the goals if the analysts are correct about the next couple of years here. That is insane. But let's dive into the numbers because there is a lot to unpack here. Now, when we look at this, they start to, and I would say they are very transparent, so it is easy to see how they're getting to at least overall their numbers here. So what you can see is that in 2027, to get these numbers, they are counting on 44% of the revenue in Tesla to come from a concept called Robotaxis. I will get into that just in a second, but let me just say right away that Robotaxis hardly exist today. There is some tests going on right now, but it is actually not a product that exists for real, meaning that in 4 years, they are relying on 44% of the entire company's revenue coming from a product that doesn't exist in the world yet. 64% of their EBITDA would be from Robotaxis, and the enterprise value by business line in our expected value case, 67% should be from Robotaxis. So let's better hope that the outlook for Robotaxis is good and positive, because otherwise these numbers are completely flawed. So let's go on and look at some of the other numbers they have put in. Now, they have some example outputs for bear and bull here. And this is 2022 numbers. And they had an output of 1.3 million cars sold there. Now, we know the 23 numbers now, and they reached their goal at 1.8 million cars. So these are the numbers I will be using here, just to be fair. Now, the example bear outcome of 2027 is an output of, or a sale of 10.3 million cars. Now, if we're looking at the 1.8 million cars they did sell in 2023, that would be a 5.7x, meaning they should sell 5.7 times as many cars in 2027 as they did in 2023. Elon Musk was out. He were out saying in the earnings call that there was a lot of doubt about the growth, and they were focusing on some new tech, and it was very vague. And several of the fans among the hedge funds of Tesla, they actually said that it was basically a train wreck to listen to that earnings call. So, thinking that they can sell 5.7 times as many cars. And that is just in the bear case. The bull case is 20.7 million cars, which of course then is, what is that? That is 11.5 times the current sale. So they should make the sales go up by more than 1,000% in 4 years in a market right now with a lot of competition, and with Elon Musk not even being sure what the growth numbers for 2024 will be. So let's dive deeper into it. The electrical vehicle, well, the average selling price, I have no idea how the selling price will be in 2027. However, we can see right now that Tesla and all the other competitors have been forced to lower their price. It is, as they call, a race to the bottom. So if they can charge $34,000 or $26,000 on average for a car, I have honestly no idea. However, in 2027, in the bear outcome, they have a $54 billion revenue from something called human-driven ride-hail revenue. That is some sort of ride-hail network they are building up, and they are planning on that to give them a revenue of $54 billion. If we're looking at the total revenue for Tesla as of 2023, that was $96 billion. So this human, human-driven ride-hail revenue should make up 50% of the current total revenue of $1.8 million cars sold, they should make that up in 27. As you can see in the bull outcome, it would be 0. Now, why is that, you might ask? Well, that is because that they are also counting on autonomous ride-hail revenue. And that is simply Tesla making money from robotaxis driving around by themselves. They get a cut of the fee. They have some software they license. There are a ton of different ways to make money there. So they are counting on, in the bear case, that number will be $200 billion in 2027. That is double the amount that they have in revenue now, and that should be only from autonomous ride-hail revenue. That is even from a product that doesn't exist yet. And the example bull outcome would be $613 billion. Yeah, I won't even say what I think about that. If we look at the electrical vehicle gross margins, that is important, and many Tesla fans have said, well, that is one of the reasons why the price of the Tesla stock can be so high. That is because we have the highest gross margins in the entire auto industry. That is correct. However, their gross margin right now, it is true that it was around 26% last year. In 2022. However, in 2023, it dropped to 18%. And in these cases, both on the bear and the bull case, they are counting on this to go up massively. Now, the reason why they are using 51 and 52% here is that they're counting on this entire robotaxi, full self-driving stuff to be a larger and larger part of the business. And there are not as many costs. When you're selling software, the base cost is not as high. So therefore, of course, your margins are larger. So for this to be true, the entire robotaxi, full self-driving, autonomous driving case should come into reality. Otherwise, this is completely crap numbers. All right. And all of these numbers down here, market cap and so on, are of course based on all of these numbers. So that is basically the case. We need robotaxis to be a thing. Otherwise, the 1400 to 2500 or even higher is completely bogus. All right. They have some key model input in their calculations. And for instance, they have a best case for when the robotaxis are a thing. And that is Q4 2023. I know this article is from 2022, but they actually believed Elon Musk's word when he said, well, within the next 12 months, we have 500,000 robotaxis driving on the roads. So that is the best case. And an upside standard deviation is still Q4 2023. So we have passed that. That is out of the question. It is not longer a thing unless you can travel back in time. Then there is a downside, 1 standard deviation. That means that the robotaxis are being launched in 2 years, in 2026. So could that be? Well, let's have a look at that just in a second. But it is not that realistic. And then there is the absolute worst case. That is in 2030. That is in 6 years. The robotaxis should be launched. Is that possible? Could be. Things are moving fast right now with AI and everything, so could be. All right, let's go into the robotaxi thing then. First of all, we have this research institute saying that the autonomous vehicle market size from 22 to 32 in US billions will go up from 121 billions up to $2.4 trillion. And you might think, okay, well, that is robotaxis. No, it is not. This is autonomous vehicle markets, and that is a lot of things. If we are looking at levels of driving automation, we can see that it is going from something called an SAE level 0 and up to 5. Whereas the level 0 is basically just a few warnings in the car and stuff. But basically, you are driving. Whenever these driver support features are engaged, even if your feet are off the pedals and you are not steering, You must constantly supervise these support features. You must steer, brake, or accelerate as needed to maintain safety. So this has nothing to do with robotaxis. This is basically a lot of what we know from modern cars with a lot of automated alert and help functions. You can see here at the level 2, these features provide steering and brake acceleration, support to the driver, lane centering, and adaptive cruise control at the same time, so on. Now, when we enter level 3, you are not driving when these automated driving features are engaged, even if you are seated in the driver's seat. On level 3, the Tesla is not here yet, I would say, or they are not. Let's see that in a second. When the feature requests, you must drive, meaning that then it's not really a robotaxi, isn't it? Is it? When you will have to intervene. When you're at level 4 and 5, these automated driving features will not require you to take over driving. So this could be a robotaxi thing. Good. These are automated driving features. Well, these features can drive the vehicle under limited conditions and will not operate unless all required conditions are met. So this could be on the level 3, traffic jam chauffeur here. On level 4, local driverless taxi, pedal steering wheel may or may not be installed. So now in level 4, we are actually at cars where there might not even be a steering wheel. You're just getting in and it is driving you somewhere. However, under limited conditions. It's only when we get to the level 5 where it can drive anywhere and drive under all conditions. Okay, so far so good. Then we can have a look at this article, and this is from September 2023, so it's 4 months old, something like that. What is stopping Tesla from achieving level 3 self-driving? So they're not here yet. I know they claim somehow that they are, but they are not, because some of the things they're mentioning in here is that to get to level 3 you need to have a backup system. Right now, Tesla are relying on their cameras, their neural network, their AI, and all of that seems to be developing very, very quickly. However, at some point, it might be put out of work. It could be because of very low sun shining into the cameras. It could be fog. It could be a million different things. But to get a backup system, most experts agree that you need something called a LiDAR, a system that uses lasers to determine range and distances, and there are several cars, actually almost all other car makers that are trying to experiment with full self-driving. They are using LiDAR. The problem is it is bloody expensive, and therefore Elon Musk said, well, we don't want it because it will delay everything. But what is a risk is that Tesla has been focusing on not using LiDAR, and now they are starting to figure out, well, we actually might just need it anyway. A level 4 vehicle, such as a Robotaxi, is highly automated and requires no human interaction. It runs on specific routes and is programmed to simply stop itself if the vehicle runs into problem. A level 5 autonomous system would be that better than human model that Musk is always promising. The problem is it needs LiDAR or something of the equivalent. And they are not having it, and therefore they are, well, that is at least what some of the experts say, they're kind of stuck. They probably have the best AI, the best supercomputers, whatever, but they are relying on cameras, and that is a problem. All right. We do have robotaxis right now in San Francisco, for instance. However, one of them, at least, the one from GM's Cruise here, have been taken out of commission simply because that it ran over some persons and there was some problems with it. You can also see here, Robotaxi takeover hit speed bump. Okay, so the Robotaxi thing is not really a thing yet. It is something that is just on the brink of an experimental phase. And I know some of you will write me and say, no, Tesla is far ahead of all other competitions. That is what Tesla and Katie Wood said. But a lot of the other experts are saying they're missing some crucial components. And even if they are ahead, they are actually not close to having a robotaxi that can drive anywhere, anytime. As Elon Musk have said, since 2013, they would have in place within 12 to 18 months. We are now on the 11th year of that promise. So yeah, we can take it for what it is. One last thing I'll mention is, then what is it the market they're trying to take over? Well, that is, for instance, the global taxi market. And I know they'll also be taking over buses and a lot of personal transportation if this tomorrow worked and Robotaxis was just a thing that could go anywhere, anytime. However, if we are just looking at the global taxi market, we can see that in 2022, that was at around $220 billion market. By 2030, they are estimating that to be around $600 billion. Now, let's go back to this one. Go a bit up here and see what is it they are planning on. Oh, sorry, I'm just here. Now, they are actually in 2027 planning on getting $600 billion in the best case from this autonomous ride-hail revenue. That is the same amount that the total taxi market worldwide, in every city and in countryside and everywhere, that is approximately this number that the taxi market will be at in 2030, 3 years after. And in 2027, in their bull case, they will simply own the market for all vehicles, buses, everything. That is a problem. I'm not saying Tesla is not winning this race. I'm saying that the numbers they're using for the $1,400 to $2,500 projection they are insane, to be honest. If we're looking at the best self-driving vehicles right now, and I know many of you will say, these are not the best, Tesla is the best, or someone else is the best. But what I'm showing you here is that we have Audi, we have Infiniti, maybe, never heard of it. The Mercedes-Benz, we have Ford, we have Teslas, we have BMWs, Volkswagen, Nissan. There are a lot of people, a lot of companies competing in this field. So even if Tesla comes up with a Robotaxi, and it might be the best, it will not be the only one. So right now, technically, it is at a level 2 system. They need a level 5 to be running the world on Robotaxis. And that is not happening in 2027, if you ask me. And if that is not happening by 2027, maybe not even by 2030, then you can take all of these numbers, all of the bear case and the bull case and everything, and you can throw it in the bin. It is simply not worth anything. Elon Musk have said it himself. If Tesla is not the winner in the full self-driving, then Tesla is nothing. He has said that several times. So before you buy Tesla shares, there is a legitimate reason to buy Tesla shares, I would say. If we are looking into the future and we are thinking they can grow by, let's say, 20% per year, and we think investors will be paying, I don't know, 35 in price earning. It might not be the best of the best investment in 3 years' time, but over time, in 10 years, they could go up a lot, and this is a good investment. But please don't believe the people that are talking about $1,400, $2,500. And as I said, I even saw one mentioning $8,000 to $10,000 in just a few short years. They are basing it on flawed logic, if you ask me. Now, this is just my opinion, of course, and I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in Tesla, because, as I said, it can be a decent long-term investment. They are making money. They are visionaries. The pricing, however, from the analysts, from people that owns billions and billions of dollars worth of Tesla, and that are very interested in this stock price to soar and go to the moon. Now, they are saying it could go to 2 and 4 and 10,000. And I have a suspicion that they have a kind of a hidden agenda here to pump up the stock. So before you buy, please realize what the basis of these numbers are and make up your own mind and say, do I believe in them? Don't I believe in them? And what do I actually think a fair price of Tesla would be? Because believe me, $2,500 in 2027 is not it. All right. That's all for now. I'm sorry this video got a bit lengthy, but there was so much to unpack, and I even deleted half of my notes to make it as simple as possible. That's all for now. Take care of yourself and your money out there. I'll talk to you again shortly. Bye.